How is professional negligence determined for engineers? Imagine you are hiring an engineer to design a bridge or a building. You want to be sure they are held to the right standards. That's where professional negligence comes into play. It's not just about making mistakes. It's about whether the engineer failed to meet the expected level of skill and care. To figure out if an engineer was negligent, courts look at three main points. First, did the engineer owe a duty of care? That means they had a responsibility to do their work properly for the client or the public. Second, did they breach that duty? This is judged by what a reasonably competent engineer with similar experience would have done in the same situation. If they skipped steps, used wrong materials, or ignored safety codes, that could be a breach. Third, did this breach cause harm? If the engineer's mistake directly led to damage, injury, or loss, then negligence might be proven. The standard of care is a key idea here. It's what a careful, skilled engineer would have done at that time, considering current technology and practices. Experts in the field often testify about what is acceptable behavior for engineers in similar roles. For electrical engineers, this means following safety standards, electrical codes, and best practices in design and implementation. If an electrical system is built without following these standards and causes a fire or injury, that could be seen as negligence. Negligence can happen in many ways. Maybe the engineer designed a circuit that didn't meet safety rules, or they failed to check for potential hazards. It could also be a failure to properly inspect or test the work before completion. If the engineer's actions or omissions fall below what a competent professional would do, and this leads to damage, then they might be held responsible. Legal cases often involve contracts. If the engineer agreed to deliver a safe, reliable design and failed, that's a breach of contract. Even without a contract, negligence can be pursued through civil law if the engineer's conduct caused harm that was reasonably foreseeable. Engineers also carry professional liability insurance to protect against claims of negligence. But insurance might not cover gross negligence or intentional misconduct, which are more serious breaches of duty. Ethics play a big role in this process. Engineers are expected to prioritize safety, health, and public welfare. Following ethical codes and industry standards helps demonstrate that they acted responsibly. When questions of negligence come up, these standards are used to judge whether the engineer did enough to prevent harm. In the end, determining if an engineer was negligent involves checking if they failed to meet the standard of care expected of a professional in their field, and if that failure caused damage. It's a mix of legal rules, technical standards, and ethical responsibilities, all working together to protect the public and uphold trust in the profession.